Welcome to the Office of Online Learning training on assignments. So today we're going to talk about identifying essential learning components of assignments to translate into online courses, and we'll demonstrate how to create an assignment right within Blackboard. To reiterate, one of the most important things in designing any of your online content is really focusing on your essential questions. So what do you want your students to be able to do? How do you want them to understand the material? How will they demonstrate their learning? Why is this important in their lives? Is it contributing to, their well-being as humans, as members of our community? Is it contributing to their career path? So really trying to focus on why are we including this assignment in your course, and how can students really demonstrate their understanding? It might not always, and it probably isn't always through writing. So really trying to think about more unique ways and opportunities for students to demonstrate their understanding. The other vital component that we need to consider is universal design for learning, providing options for students to express their understanding in multiple ways. And I find an fabulous way to really hit two components of universal design for learning is looking at multiple means of engagement and action and expression. So what I like to do is provide choice for my students. So choosing which way they want to demonstrate their learning. It provides multiple means. So if I have some students who have a lot of difficulty with writing, they can choose a different way, but it also provides that motivation, right? I'm more engaged in this activity because I'm choosing which way I want to express my learning. So here are some active learning examples that you can utilize within an online learning environment for students to remain active and for you as the professor to have a pulse on their learning, which is really important. And that's one of the things that I find is so vital within online learning, because when we're in the classroom, we can kind of feel that sense typically. Are my students getting it? You've got the pulse of the classroom. And using these active learning techniques allows you to keep that pulse within an online environment. So one of the strategies that I really like is having students submit their notes. So I'll embed some reflection questions, some probing questions in my online content, in my videos, and my students will then just submit their notes to me. I really like this strategy because then I can see kind of what they're thinking, and I will often allow students the flexibility of they can handwrite their notes, they can type their notes, they can speak their notes, and submit those on Blackboard. The other thing that I really like doing for some of my courses are low risk, high frequency learning checks. So sometimes I'll just add in a quiz on Blackboard that is very low risk, not a lot of points or not points at all, for students to really assess, did I learn that content? Did I engage with that? Am I walking away with what I needed to from that? And that gives me, again, another really great assessment as to, did my students get from that content what I wanted them to? Having students keep reflections on content is also very powerful. Again, it's kind of like you have a parallel conversation with them regarding, their learning process. And finally, allowing them to give annotation. So possibly assigning an article, assigning a website, and having students highlight, take notes, and submit all of that information on Blackboard. There are many other examples. I just wanted to provide a few for you, and really thinking more creatively as to how are you measuring students' learning online. I wanted to provide an example, as I mentioned previously, that of an assignment where a student allows choice and it also provides flexibility. So here is a you pick two assignment. So I have this grid here where the first row is learning about accommodations and technology, and the second row has to do with one of their projects that my students were completing. And the assignment where the students is that they needed to pick two of these activities to complete, one from row 1 and one from row 2. And I really tried to space these out depending on my students' level of comfort or background with the material and their status as to where they were with their bottom project. And so I really like these type of assignments because you can, again, provide multiple means of expression, and you can also fill one of the boxes with if students are having difficulty with content, maybe they rewatch a video or they relearn a concept. And so using this strategy of the you pick two, some people call them tic-tac-toe, there's so many different ways, but really crafting different activities or experiences that the students can choose based on their assessment of their own learning and where they are, again, can be very powerful. Next, what I want to do is we're going to go off to Blackboard and demonstrate how to add an assignment into your weekly module. Here I am in my course. I'm going to go down to weekly materials, and I'm going to go into week 1. Here, one of my students' tasks is that they need to submit their notes for step 1. So I'm going to go into assessments. I'm going to click on assignment, and I'm going to title it week 1, submit notes here. So I'm going to paste in, so I have this text in here that I had already copied. My students are writing a reflection based on an emoji, so I'm going to add my emoji in here, and I'm just reminding them that there's flexibility, so they can type, they can draw, they can handwrite. I'm going to scroll down. The assignment allows you to attach a file if I wanted to give them a template or give additional information, I could do that. Adding a due date is very important because then it appears on the student's calendar. So that's something that's very valuable for our students and very important to add. I'm going to add a point value. The other thing that I like to do is under submission details, and depending on the flexibility that you have or the particular assignment, I really like going in and allowing for unlimited attempts. I find that oftentimes students will email me like, oh, I submitted it by accident, or I only attached 1 document, I have 2, and it takes a lot of time to go in and clear an attempt or add another one. So I will generally, depending on the assignment, if it's okay, I will allow for these unlimited attempts so I don't have to go back and deal with that logistical technology hiccup. So that's something that I've just found has been very successful for me. And then I click submit. And now my assessment is right here for my students to submit their notes.